We've just taken in this Range Rover as a part exchange and we thought this would make a really good YouTube video. So, do you think you should buy a 10-year-old Range Rover with over 100,000 miles? The answer is probably not, but in this video we're going to try and convince you why you should. For its first test, let's see how good it is off-road. So we've come to this weird little park, very bumpy and hilly, so let's see how good it is actually off-road. The whole point of a Range Rover is its practicality. So let's go to a supermarket and see if this car can actually fit inside a normal parking bay, because this Range Rover is absolutely massive. As you can see, it's not very practical. I can fit inside the space, but there's not really enough space for the car next to me and I can't open my door to get out. So it doesn't fit inside a normal car parking space inside a supermarket. Since the Range Rover failed its first practicality test of going to a supermarket car park and not being able to fit inside a bay, we're going to give it a second test. This time, we're going to fill the boot up with rubbish and then go to the tip yard and then see how much rubbish we can get into the boot and then see how it performs on the drive. But what's cool about this car is it's got a split when it works. This is a problem with a Range Rover. It stops midway through, reliability issues, which we'll talk about later. Oh, there we go. I think it needs to reset. Ah, it's working. So the great thing about a Range Rover is it's got a split boot. It opens the tailgate in two and you push these two buttons here and both the seats, the back seats, rear seats go forward automatically and you have this massive boot. So now let's get some rubbish in the back and let's go to the tip yard. As you can see, we've arrived at the tip yard. It's quite a short journey. So as you can see, very practical, and it's passed its second test of can you fit loads of rubbish in the back and chuck it away at the tip yard? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. For its third practicality test, let's take this Range Rover through a McDonald's drive-thru, because you can't have a Range Rover and it be a working man's car if it can't fit through a drive-thru. And if you're wondering what a car dealer does on a day-to-day basis, it's pretty much make shit videos and go to McDonald's. So it went surprisingly easy through the McDonald's drive-thru, so big thumbs up there. Now let's talk about something a bit more serious, the value of the car. So are these Range Rovers good value? Well, brand new, this Range Rover was £103,000 for an autobiography. Now this one has a few options like the deployable tow bar, it's got massage seats, it's got a few other bits and pieces. This one was probably around £120,000 brand new. Today, it's 10 years old, it's done 107,000 miles. This car is for sale today, just under £19,000, so 18,995. So it is such great value for money. We'll talk about maintenance costs a bit later in the video, but it's such great value for money. In my mind, it's done most of the depreciation. I can't see how this car is going to depreciate any more than it already has. But for £19,000, 10 years ago, this was £120,000. I think is absolutely brilliant value for money. If you can afford the fuel, the road tax, the tyres, the servicing costs, I think it's a brilliant value proposition. In typical Range Rover fashion, we come in first thing in the morning and there's already a fault with the car. So when we started it up this morning to move it, it's coming up with a fault saying there's low coolant. There we go, coolant level low. So, well, let's open up the bonnet and actually check the coolant. Oh, I actually don't know how to open up this bonnet. There we go. Okay, so this is the coolant. So it's not actually low. I can see it's quite full, but it's a bit of a weird colour. I'm not a mechanic, but I know that's not the colour of coolant. Okay, we're going to pause the video right here because it turns out that is not actually where you're supposed to fill up the coolant. That is the suspension fluid, which relates to the air suspension on the car. The coolant is actually at the front of the engine. You have to remove a cover and the coolant bottle is there. So ignore everything we just said about that being the coolant bottle. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to take that to our mechanic, get it checked out and see what he recommends. But it's a good segue into discussing some of the running costs of what a Range Rover, a 10-year-old Range Rover will cost. To do 4 tyres on this car is £1,200. The servicing now isn't too bad because you don't have to take it to Land Rover to get it serviced. You can take it to a specialist or an independent and they do just as good of a job, so that's not too bad. In terms of the miles per gallon, we're getting around 25 miles per gallon, which isn't too bad considering it is a 4.4 litre V8 that does 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds. So again, that is not too bad, 25 miles per gallon. The road tax is a bit expensive, that is £620. But remember, this was £120,000 brand new. So even though this car is up for sale for just under 19, you still have all the costs associated with a £120,000 car. Now, we were going to see how much it costs to fill the car up with diesel. So let's go to the petrol station now and let's see how much it costs to put a full tank of diesel in this Range Rover. I forgot to mention some of the common issues with this Range Rover. Well, there's too much to list, so you're better off going on Google and downloading the sheet. There's issues from air suspension, dampers, cameras, electrical systems, oil in the coolant. Luckily, we don't have too many issues with this car. It's quite good, the electrical works. However, there seems to be oil in the coolant and we're gonna go to the mechanic to see what that is about. But yeah, you're better off looking on Google. There's too many issues or too many common issues on this car to go through them in this video. We're just pulling into the fuel station now. Put in the comments below how much you think it will cost to fill up this V8 Range Rover with a full tank of diesel. And we've probably got about 5 miles left of range, so it will genuinely be a full tank of diesel. This video is costing me over £100. Okay, so the price of diesel is 138.9. We're at £122 and rising. I estimated £140. Max would be £127 and 41p. 108. Oh. The end is £128 and 27p. So that's how much it costs to fill up a full tank of diesel on a Range Rover V8. Okay, so we're just going to the mechanic now. we're going to see what he says about this coolant low level issue. Hopefully it's not a big issue, it's a quick fix, but knowing it's a Range Rover, probably not. So let's see what he says, and hopefully we'll get an answer in a few days, and we'll let you know exactly what the issue is and how much it cost to fix this issue. Okay, so we came back from the mechanic a few days ago, and we didn't get a chance to speak to him, but here was the diagnosis. So it turned out that the radiator was leaking coolant, and that was the issue. That total job came to £1,000, which was quite expensive, but that's all done. I've been driving the car now for a few days and it's completely fine. It drives very, very nice. So yeah, that was the main issue with the coolant leak. It wasn't low on coolant, it was just had a radiator leak. So yeah, that was that issue there. So we started this video with the simple question, should you buy a 10-year-old Range Rover in 2025? And the answer is yes. We think you should buy a Range Rover in 2025, and in particular, this Range Rover, because you just spent a lot of money fixing all the issues. But on a serious note, for the value they are at the minute, is absolutely incredible value for money. Yes, you may get issues down the line, but make sure you take out a good warranty. It can be expensive with the running costs, but that's part and parcel of it being a luxury car. But when you buy a car like this for under £20,000, you honestly cannot go wrong with it. As long as it's a good car, you budget for the maintenance, you shouldn't really have any issues. And this one here is a great car.